Guys, let's continue. Let me first share my screen. Just give me a minute, please. 1 minute. I don't know how my laptop is very slow today, which software updated or I don't know why. Okay, but yeah, today's topic, guys, is very much interesting, very much powerful also, especially if you talk about some kind of bigger infrastructure that you want Ansible tasks to be run, right? So let's say you want to configure something across maybe hundreds and thousands of different servers, and there if you run the Ansible, this is nice because Ansible will make the thing automated. You guys know, but running multiple things, right, and at the same time, sometime would be very much challenging, right? So what I'm talking about, 1 minute, please, right? So today's main topic would be more about the parallelism, right? How you can run the parallel task, or about asynchronous, right? So very much interesting topic. I have again very interesting demo also to show you this particular approach, right? So let me start from very basics what exactly I'm talking about. And almost, guys, 90% of today's content again is not again the part of your official program, but as a Ansible admin you should know these particular concepts, right? So today, guys, the main topic would be how we can configure async. Okay, this is the one of the topic today. Second topic would be how we can create a batch jobs in the Ansible, right? And one of the topic would be how you can achieve the parallelism, right, in your task or in your job in the Ansible, right? So it is more about your operation task, because Ansible is main for operations, guys, only, right? If you have and want to configure, so for this you have to create for this you have to create a playbook. But how you're running the playbook in the parallel, that makes more sense. And how we can sync or I say async or asynchronous your jobs is very much interesting topic. Async, I will explain you with some great examples, right? So let me, guys, start with one by one. But today's practical, guys, I require multiple VMs to show you some great hands-on. And by chance today my system laptop is slow, I don't know why, but let's see how much VM we can launch, right? So this VM I'm going to launch, and this would be my controller node. You guys know. And the 4 VM I'll try to start today, that will work as the managed node, right? So we'll start in a minute, but let me explain you the actual concepts about parallelism or batch or async, right? Very much interesting topic. Right? Especially if you try to run your playbook or your task in some bigger environment, right? So there we normally use this approach, right? So let me start things one by one, right? So again, let's say you have your workstation, typically known as your controller node. Sorry, and you create a playbook. And guys, we always associate associate playbook with some inventory. And you guys know, either you create a dynamic inventory or static inventory, but when you run the playbook, you always associate your playbook with some inventory, right? So let's say you have a four different managed node. Okay, this manage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So let's say IP1, IP2, IP3, and IP4, four managed node you have. And our plan is, guys, in this managed node, I would like to run some play from my playbook, and this play will go and do something in all the four all the four managed node. Maybe initially we would like to install the Docker, so we would like to install a web server, or maybe the system is already been configured, and every day to day basis you go there sorry, you go there and create a backups, or maybe after in some while you go and patch the system or security updates you want to do. Okay, so let's say you have hundreds and thousands of system like this hundreds of thousands system like this. My plan here, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you have a requirement, for example, I have a requirement. Guys, can you hold for a second, please? So let's take one example. You have a requirement where you want to daily basis or nightly, every day, every night, you want to create a backup of these guys. Or normally, let's say if you want to do a backup of one system, like this system maybe your database or some logs you have, maybe multiple requirement might have. Let's say if you want to do a backup of one system, it might take, let's say, 15 minutes, for example. Okay, so if you go to IP2 again, it takes 15 minutes. so so guys, if you talk about, let's say you have 100 different managed node. Okay, so if you talk about in totality, if one system will do, and where we can create a backup in 15 minutes. So if you have 100 system, it will take 1500 minutes. It's too much, right? If you talk about if you want to do a backup, right? So maybe it complete the complete the next day again come up for the backup, right? So what I'm talking about here is, okay, we want a backup, or we want to do some updates, you want to configure something. It would be any kind of a requirement you have, right? The challenge we have, because for doing the backup we have to create a playbook. For doing the backup we have to write in the playbook in which inventory. For example, I would like to do a backup in all the computers. Okay, now I'm so sorry, guys, can you hold for a second, please? So the point over here is, right, if one system take 15 minutes for backup, okay, second take 15 minutes, third take 15 minutes, so four system will take 1 hour in total. Hundreds, thousands of computer you have, you'll calculate the number of time, right, how much it consume in total. Okay, but if you want to save the time, what approach you can use, right? You can ask system number one, system number two, and system number three, and all the computer in parallel, and ask, because as the controller node, you're not doing anything there. You are just sending the instruction. Till now, guys, whatever we did, maybe we install the packages, we start the services, we set up the firewall, right? So Ansible never technically go inside the system and doing something there. Ansible is just sending the instructions, right, to these nodes. So these nodes are using the internal commands, maybe service command or systemctl command or yum command, to do something for us. So we can tell our Ansible, can you do one thing, right? Rather than first you go to IP1, second you go to IP2, okay, third you go to IP3 and do the things. Rather than you do one by one, typically it is known as sequence. Rather you do in the sequence, or sometimes also known as sync. So rather than you do in the synchronous way or sync way, or in serial way, okay, because by default nature of the Ansible is the Ansible do in the serial way, or maybe you can see right word would be a synchronous way. So if you create a task if you create a task in the Ansible, and in the task, if you say run task in all the IP, so obviously when you ask the task, let's say can you please install the software, so Ansible first go to this IP and ask to install software, and maybe installation of the software maybe like 15 minutes. till the time this task is not complete, Ansible won't go to next system. Again, it consume 15 minutes. Then this task complete, then they go to next system. Okay, so if you have 4 system and one task consume 15 minutes, so around 1 hour it consume to complete just one task. And after one task complete, then you go for second task, then third task, and third task. So the by default nature of the Ansible is they do one task at a time. This is one thing. Okay, and in the one task, if you associate with multiple IPs, so they will go to one single IP at a time. Okay, so very quickly, let me show you this demo by some way. So I have sorry, 4 inventory. Let me launch all the inventory here to show you this particular demo. So the by default nature of the Ansible is till now in the Ansible, if you create a playbook and if your playbook has, let's say, 10 different tasks, so only one task they run at a time. There's a one thing, right? So only one task they run at a time. Okay, or till the time till the time that particular task complete. Okay, so Ansible is keep on waiting for this, let's say, task number 1. So when Ansible spawn or launch this particular task, Ansible we keep on waiting behind the scene to to have this task complete. And when this task complete, then only Ansible will go to task number 2. And again, when this task complete, then Ansible go to task number 3. This is the by default behavior of the Ansible. So this is one thing, right? Second thing here is whenever guys you run the task, your one task or because tasks belong to playbook, and the playbook guys we always write a play, and play guys we always associate with some kind of host. Let's say you associate with the all host, and all means you might have 4 IPs, for example. It means it means this particular task will run in 4 different IPs: IP1, IP2, IP3, IP4. So it means if you run this particular task, Ansible will first go to IP1, run the task there, then here, then here, then here. After they run all the tasks, then say task 1 complete. Then they go to task 2. Again, task 2 again will run in all the 4 IPs. If you have 4 IP in all, or maybe you write some group here, they will run in all the group of IPs. Okay, so there's two things I am trying to explain you here is first, till the time your task 1 complete, Ansible won't go to task number 2. Okay, it means Ansible is keep on syncing with the task 1, and Ansible know behind the scene task 1 complete or just keep on running. Okay, so this concept is called sync, and that is a by default behavior of the Ansible. Okay, this is one thing. But when this task run, the task run in all the 4 IPs. Again, in these 4 IPs, they by default guys they're running in the serial way. Means first they go and run task 1 on IP1, or maybe it takes maybe 15 minutes, for example. Then they go to IP2. Again they go IP3. Again they go IP4. So they done one by one. It's called serial. Again, this is the by default nature of the Ansible. But there's 2 terms I am trying to explain you. One sync and one is serial, right? Or we can say one by one. There's a by default behavior of the Ansible. So I have one way to show you this demo. Sometimes it's good to run the task in sync, or sometimes it's good to run every task in all IP in serial way. But if you talk about the bigger environment, we have hundreds and thousands of computers. Okay, if one IP consume 50 meg and all the 1,000 computer I would like to update, or I would like to patch, or I would like to do a backup. So I don't like to go one by one, right? I first either go here, then here and here. Rather than I go one by one, okay, I tell my Ansible, do one thing, one single go, just go to all the IP in single go and ask everyone to do the backup. Because finally you're not doing anything for them, right? You're just sending the instruction. So send the instruction to all the IPs in parallel. So I can see automatically the word come up parallel, right? So I want, if you want, so have a requirement that you want to run this particular task, or maybe this particular task, or maybe this particular task, or maybe all tasks in the parallel, you can do it. Okay. So how we can convert our Ansible processing of the task per IP from serial to the parallel, that we will see today, and this called, guys, parallelism. So how we can achieve parallelism, we can see. So it's so interesting. I see here here in 100 computer, rather than we wait for 1500 minutes in this particular example, Ansible will go to all the IPs in parallel and ask them to do the backup. So here, guys, same task we can achieve in 15 minutes. Because every computer will take individual 15 minutes. Okay, something like this. So first of all, guys, one of the demo we are going to see today is parallelism, right? So simple demo, nothing very special. One single keyword for this. Okay. So achieving the parallelism in the Ansible is not a big deal, but the most interesting demo would be about sync. How you can convert your task from sync to async. What exactly meaning of async, I will explain. Even though even though those guys over here who was there with me in my Flutter classes, this where I'm training you guys in the mobile app development, right? So this is something like this, the concept I explained in the Flutter, right? So, or anybody who ever worked on web technology tools, where you guys heard about the concept called Ajax. So something like this. Okay. So how we can achieve in the Ansible. So those who don't know what is async, I will explain you. But by default, nature is not async, but it's a very powerful concept we will discuss today. Even though this is not the part of your curriculum, if you see a 294 training or 407 also, none of the training have this concept. But I'll show you with pure practical this concept, right? But first, let's explain you and show you this practical. Then we go for async. At that time, I will explain you how how what is the idea and how it's work, right? So for showing this demo, let me launch two more VM. So more VMs you have, you can see this parallelism practical very beautifully, right? So let me start from here. So what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to do here, let me create a first inventory, right? So let's even though, let me show you guys one more thing in parallel, right? Let's say you have four different VM, and this VM, guys, you created for database. This VM you create for web server. This VM again you create for web server. This VM you create for, let's say, load balancer. Just for example, right? So you can create an inventory and give some group names here. So you guys know how to create the inventory. So Ansible host. So let's say this two IP we have created for web server, and we have one more IP that will give the group name called DB, and we have one more IP where we can give the name called DB LB. This is a group name we have given, right? So let me put the IP here. Okay, so if you want to do any operation on a web server, you can, rather than you give the IP, you can give the web group name. So this concept you guys know. But typically, because technically we know this two system is for web, this is for DB, this is for load balancer. But all the system is behind the scenes Red Hat actually, or all the system is behind the scenes Linux. We know. So sometime, guys, we might have requirement, right, to do some operation in all the computers. Maybe this, or everybody is running on Red Hat 8, and I would like to update some services. I would like to update or do some patches on the base operating system. So I know this system are database. I know this system web servers, but all the system, would be the Linux system. So I know this, right? So I would like to do some operation that I would like to do on all the computers. Okay, so here you can use all keyword, but sometimes all keyword is not so much useful, right? For example, I might have some system also belong to Windows DB, Windows database, let's say SQL Server. Okay, and they have their own IP address. Obviously, guys, this is not the way Windows work. Okay, but just I'm just giving the example. For example, this is IP 100, and this is the system belongs to Windows. So what can you do, guys, here? If you know, if you want to update all the Linux systems, okay, not the Windows system, you would like to create a playbook. in the playbook, guys, you can't use all keyword because all will go to all the IPs, and some of the IP maybe belong to Windows or may belong to other type of servers also. So what can we do, guys? There's one concept here, right? We can create one more group here, for example, Linux OS, this group name. And in this group name, what can we'll do rather than we manually again copy these IPs again, these IP, because we know these 4 IPs belongs to belongs to Linux. So rather than we again type this IP, we can directly give the group name also. So web group, DB group, LB group. Okay. So typically, what I'm doing here, this is again one more group name we given, and this group has their own inventory coming from different groups. So this is known as a main group, and these are known as children's. So for this, we have one keyword called children. Okay, this is not the concept is not at all linked to parallel, but I just wanted to show you one more extra thing before I go for the parallel or parallelism practical, right? So this thing also can achieve. Now, guys, now your inventory is so much customizable, right? If you want to do anything only in the web servers, use group. If you want to do something on all the IPs, then we by default have all keyword. But if you want to do something only in the Linux servers, so we know these are Linux server, this is Linux server. Rather than we keep on typing these names or these IPs, we can use a group called Linux OS. I'll tell Linux OS again. You are the group name, and in your group you have we have associated this group with multiple childrens, and these children are different of group name. It means this web has 2 IP. This is one IP. This is one IP. So all those 4 IP belongs to your group. So anybody who use a group name called Linux OS, all the 4 IP automatically come. You don't have to manually type it. And guys, again, this is why you very much useful, not for obviously for this smaller environment, but you have hundreds of IP here, thousands of IP here, right? So their management of this kind of way would always help, right? So let me use this real IP here. So this is my load balancer IP. So just for showing this demo, let me take real IP 138. So let's say this is IP 138. So 138, let's say, would be my full load balancer. And this system, let's think, guys, this is your database server just for a while. So practically, it's not at all about the database. I just want to have more systems so I can show you some interesting practical today. So so we have multiple system. When I use this group, all the IP of this group come up. So 4 IP they will show you and we can use, right? So you can check from here also. Ansible, right? Can you show me all the IP you have? It shows you all the IPs. All is a predefined keyword. But can you show me all IPs inside the web group? 2 IPs we have. But can you show me the web, IPs inside Linux OS? Even though we haven't put any IP there, but we make some children's. And in children's, guys, automatically see all the 4 IP comes. Okay. So sometimes, guys, it's good way. It is again good to manage in this way. Now it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. These children's are the static inventories, static inventory, or maybe they might be dynamic inventory. So dynamic inventory also have a group name. I'll show you in my dynamic inventory example, right? So you can give the group names here, right? So let me share this code. So this concept is not at all about parallelism. I just want to show you one more example of of how to manage your inventories. Okay, but let's say finally this is the inventory we have. In this inventory, we have this group. And by chance, this group have 4 IP or maybe hundreds and thousands of IP. And now what I want to show you here is whenever you run any playbook, okay, on this particular inventory, are they doing parallel operation or are they doing are they doing serial operation? That I would like to show you. Okay, but before I show you this practical, just very small concept I just want to show you in the Linux or maybe of Windows also. Whenever you connect from one OS to other OS, okay, so one concept I am going to explain you here, it will help you to see some practical internal practical happening, right? So example, from one system, if you want to connect to other system, right? For example, IP1 you connect to IP2, And if you connect using some TCP protocol, okay, so you can see behind the scene in IP1 and IP2 who connect to whom and in which particular port number. For example, when I'm talking about, for example, if you do SSH to one of the IP, let's say you do SSH to IP 100. So technically, from my laptop, I'm connecting to this system. Okay, and SSH guys by default work on TCP protocol. So there's one command available, guys, in Linux or Windows also. We have this command. Okay, we can see on the real time. Okay, that from my laptop or from my system, right? From my system, which all the IP we have established a connection of TCP, and that would be on the real time. I can see, right? For example, there's one command in the Linux. So let me open a new terminal here, and there's a command called netset. Very powerful command. But in netset, there is one interesting option called -NCT. There's one option here. Okay, what it will show you? It will show you real time connections. T means of TCP connections. Okay, so right now if I run this command, if I run this command, you can see by chance my system, by some my system, this is my IP. If I show you, this is my IP here, IP162. So my system is my local address has connected to this address, this foreign address. And time wait means they connected and now they disconnected. Maybe some my system will go to some of the site. Normally this is the HTTPS port number. So this is one great command, guys. You can see on the real time what is happening. But you don't see any information here right now. It means right now my system is not connected to any of the system, or none of the out system has connected to me. Okay, so this is a real time. See here, I don't have to do. They are updating on the real time. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here, guys, here, as soon as I hit this system, okay, either you do SSH, FTP, HTTP, any kind of TCP connection you connect from a system to other system connect to you, same thing. Okay, it will show you on the real time. See here, it's come right. So from this local address, this is my address connected to this remote system called foreign address on port number 22. It means they have done SSH and connection is right now established. Means connection is going. See here, we ask the password, connection is going on. I'm there in the system. So my system is connected. But as soon as I log out or disconnect, as soon as I log out or disconnect, connection closed. And here, see here, time wait come. It's protocol to protocol. So time wait means you was connected, but now you have disconnected. And after some time, they also remove this line also. Okay, just very small information I just wanted to tell you, because this concept I'm going to use in a minute to show you and to prove you that Ansible by default nature is serial or parallel. Okay, so this concept we are going to use in a minute. This particular program we're going to use in a minute. Okay, so so finally, guys, what I'm going to show you here is okay, because I told you Ansible controller node, whenever they connect to managed node, internally they use SSH, means TCP. Okay, and if because you do use TCP, okay, so when I run my playbook, okay, let me first create a playbook to properly refer to you. Let me create a folder called, let's say, parallel folder. Okay, I'm going to create one playbook here, like p.yml, and I'm running my play, not all the host, in only Linux OS, 4 IPs. And guys, I'm just disabling my gather facts. You guys know what is this. So I don't want any facts come from there. So I'm disabling. So it will fast our code. Otherwise, for example, you have 4 IPs. Every IP they go and gather the information. It consumes a lot of time. So if you don't need any facts, always good practice to improve the performance and speed, just disable the gather facts, right? And now I'm going to run one task. We're going to run one task, and let's say task is would be command module, and I'm running the task called, let's say, date command. Or rather than, guys, we can run the date command, because date command will run within millisecond, and after millisecond the command complete, right? So rather than, guys, we run the date command, there's one more command in the Linux, I think you guys know. It's called sleep command. So if you run sleep, is like a delay command. So if you run sleep for 5, means 5 seconds, so it will hold your program for 5 seconds. So guys, this so you can think, guys, sleep is like, let's say I'm doing some backup, and backup might say take maybe 60 seconds. So let's say this is the backup command. So I don't have anything to backup, so let me run this command. So let's say, guys, this command is something like a backup command. So it's like a simulate the backup thing. Means not backup, it simulate our practical in a minute. So this program will hold my command prompt or hold my access for 60 seconds. So this, let's feel that this is, they are doing backup, or they are doing installing some software getting from the internet. Okay, so sleep is a one some command. It will delay the things. So what I'm going to do here, right, I'm going to use sleep here. Let's say for 10 seconds or 30 seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to prove you guys here is whenever you run this particular playbook, it will run in 4 IPs, and then run the command called sleep. The command may be yum command may be backup command, but I use sleep because I would like to I would like to run this task for 30 seconds to show you when when SSS go run this task. And because this task is the only task one, see, only task one, only one task I have. Okay, task one, and this task one we are applying to 4 IPs. Let's say IP1, IP2, IP3, and IP4. Okay, so when this task go to this system, how much time it consume to run here? 30 seconds, because I manually write 30 seconds here. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you guys here, till the time this task complete, Ansible won't go and send the instruction to this guy. After 30 seconds, Ansible go here and ask them to run this task for 30 seconds. Then after 30 seconds, Ansible go here to ask this guy to run this task for 30 seconds. It means just for one task, okay, it consumed 30 total, total 120 seconds. It means 2 minutes. Okay, so it means it means if Ansible show you this factor in this way, it means they are doing serial operation. But instead, if you don't see this, or if you see, Ansible will go in all the guys in a single go. Okay, and ask everybody that run this task, discuss, and send instruction to all the guys in single go. It's called parallel. So what I'm guys trying to show you, we don't know Ansible right now is doing serial operation or parallel. And if they are doing parallel, how many target node or manage node they go in parallel? So they go to 2 nodes in one go, or 4 node in one go, or be 5 node in one go. We don't know. So let's see by this practical. Maybe they will help us to tell how many nodes they go you, and how we come to know by this command. Because when we run the Ansible, you can see from my laptop, we establish a connection to the foreign address, and the here foreign would be my managed node. And if all the 5 IDs, all the 4 IP come up here, it means Ansible is doing parallel. If only one IP come up, then second come up after 30 seconds, then third come up after 30 seconds, it means by default nature of Ansible is serial. So let's see, we don't know. why I say I don't know? Because version to version of the Ansible, this parameter is changed. Right, what I mean by this, I will explain you in a minute, but let me first run this particular code. So by this practical, what I'm going to show you, as soon as I hit this, Ansible will go to all 4 IP in parallel or not. By chance, this is the different thing, because I am using Windows or the Linux. Your Windows Linux is keep on sending some updates, or keep on downloading some update from the internet. So either you do or you don't do, they keep on connecting to some of the real IPs in the world. So this is not our system. My system is doing behind the scenes. So don't consider this 2 IPs or 443 port. Our port is 22. So we have to focus on port number 22. Okay. So I'm running this task, and this task will prove you Ansible is doing parallel or the serial. So hit enter. Ansible go to all the IPs and see what happens here. Only one IP comes here, IP 156. They connect to IP136 only ST156, right? Single. And see here, the task is hold. My first task is working. It's keep on going on. And my Ansible send an instruction to IP136 and ask them to run. Or because task is a long task, it took 30 seconds because we manually set 30 seconds. But let's say this task may be a backup task, or task may be your some kind of other scheduling task, or task may be your installing some software, update maybe take something. Okay, see here, second, now this connect to second one. Okay, even though first one they again still established. Why they keep on established with this first one, we will discuss in a minute. But after the task complete on first one, then they connect to second one. Then they come to second one. And second guy again, guys, here only one task complete. Task is one, but this task is only complete on one guy, 156. Now they are running this task on IP address 110. Now they run on 142. From here you can see 110 is complete. It's a very interesting example to confirm, right? So I can very easily say Ansible by default work on serial. Okay, serial means whenever you run any task, this task go to this IP first, then this IP second. Okay, then next IP 142, they go to IP 142. And after they complete the 142, then they go to next IP. Next IP maybe 130 or something. So yeah, 140 complete. So what I'm trying to prove you here, that I proved you already. Okay, by default, whenever you run a task, the task will go to first IP till the time they won't complete, they won't go to second one, then they won't go to third one. It means it is serial. Serial. But if you want to convert your Ansible into parallelism, guys, so simple to convert actually, but showing by this kind of practical is very interesting, right? So if you want to convert in the parallel, so how we can do? Before this, you have to tell one more small thing here. A small thing is, if you want to go for parallelism, right, you have to tell the Ansible, you would like to send the task to 2 IP in a go, or 3 IP in a go, or 4 IP in a go. So how many parallel connection you want to establish in one single go? Okay, so whenever you go for parallelism, not in Ansible, there's lots of technology that we use a parallelism concept. Maybe if you go for Hadoop or Spark and other tools also, depend upon different environments also. So always normally we have to tell how many parallel connection you want to establish. Okay, so let's say I would like to go for 2, for example. I say Ansible in one single go, establish 2 connection parallel. Run your task or instruction in 2 IPs in single time. That's what I want. So how we can do? For this, guys, you have to update your configuration file. And this is my Ansible configuration file. Okay. And in the Ansible config file, there's one keyword that you can use. Okay. So in the default, I already had written. So the keyword is called Fox. And by default value of Fox is 1. It means I am the control node. I am the Ansible, and I will only create one connection to my managed node. And creating this connection to the managed node is called fork. So anybody who know a little bit about processes or process programming, so whenever you do something, process has to fork some sub process or child process, something like this. Okay, so I am telling my Ansible control node, for this particular playbook, only create one single fork. And because by default value is 1, that is the reason Ansible by default work on serial. But if you want to establish 3 connection in parallel or 10 connection in parallel, right, it means now if you might have 1,000 computer, but Ansible will send 10 requests in parallel. Okay, so 10 system will configure in the one single go. Something like this. So let's go for 2. But before I change something here, okay, this is guys by default file you have. By default file you have. So guys, this is the Ansible by configuration file. Ansible has a lot of keyword like inventory, role path, host key checking, And guys, if you remember, I told you become method, and every keyword is belong to some of the section here. So default is one of the section here. Okay, become method I told you was the part of privilege escalation section. Okay, so if you want to check how many keyword Ansible support, and this keyword belongs to which particular section, and what is the default value, right? If you want to check, right, because not all the keyword listed here. So for this, Ansible has one command called Ansible -config, and here we can use the option called dump. So Ansible has some all the keyword that Ansible support. Right, this is the Ansible not module I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ansible internal keyword that belongs to an Ansible configuration file. So it will print all the keyword that Ansible support or Ansible have actually with the default values. If I run here, you can see lots of keyword they have. Lots of keyword they have. Okay, let me search for one keyword called grab fork. It's not showing here because maybe fork keyword may be in capital letter. So I can use grep -I. I make the grep search insensitive. So by default value of the fork is 5. I don't know guys why. Means it's not, I don't know. It means if you don't write anything in this file, so Ansible will work and fork 5 things, right? So because why it shows 1 here in my case, in my last practical, because maybe just for testing I might have write sometime 1 here. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, all right, what I'm trying to tell you here is, by default value of Ansible fork in this particular version of Ansible, maybe vary from version also, for most of version, by default value of fork of Ansible is 5. It means by default Ansible nature, they work on parallelism, right? If you have 10 system, so they will send the instruction to the 5 system in the parallel, and they work on the 5 system in parallel. This is the by default nature. But if you don't want this nature, you want they go one by one. One of the good example would be rolling updates. So any new updates come up of your application, I don't want all the system will update in the parallel. I just want to check in one system. So I just want Ansible say, just please go and update one system. After you update in the one system, I will run some test runs. If test run successful, then I will run the next task on the next node. So it depends, guys, upon your requirement to requirement. But by default, nature is 5. But if you want to change, this is by default. But if you want to change, right, go to the file and see it. Okay, go to file and add it the entry here and say Fox would be 2. I want 2 system will update in the parallel. So again, guys, if you don't write any Fox value here, Fox here, so it will update 5 system in parallel. Okay, but if you want to change, you change here. So again, let me run my same code. Okay, same playbook. Yeah, again, there is no none of the system has been connected. Now we'll see this time 2 system will update, or 2 system where we run our task in parallel. See here, 2 IP should come up here. See here, 2 IP come up, right? So these 2 system, guys, are configured in parallel. So let's say this system we are updating the web server, doing some backup. Both the system will doing the backup in parallel. So one system did 30 seconds. This 30 seconds means, but total all time would be 30 seconds because both the guys are working in the parallel. So in 30 seconds, both the system has been updated or doing backup, something like this. And after 2 systems, then we'll pick next 2 systems, right? So you can create a group systems, right? Groups of multiple systems here. Okay. So this is one thing. So here 2 systems come in parallel. Then they go for next 2 systems, and then now they connect to the next 2 systems. Okay, like this. So this is a concept of Fox. One more command I just want to tell you here. Okay, all the by default keyword of the Ansible tell you with the dump, but there's one more keyword here called list. List will tell you some more thing about the fork, right? They tell you that fork is a one keyword Okay, and this is a great command. Fork is one of the keyword of the Ansible, and this keyword only support in the section of default. And here we will run the number of tasks of forks. Okay, and how many tasks you want to run the parallel. So list is a great command, right? It will tell you, it is like a manual, right? So it will tell you about some of the keyword. Okay, what are the keyword you have? So maybe sometime not all the keyword we know. So we'll just go and run the list command. It will show you all the keyword available in the Ansible, and they'll show you one kind of manual, right? Right. So because of this manual, we come to know, right? And in the config file, we have to write inside the default section this value. So it's again good manual to consider, right? So guys, this is one very console is very important or very interesting, but how to implement parallelism by default. Ansible work in parallelism with 5 connections in the parallel where we can decrease and increase. But if you make it 1, then it's like a serial. Okay, so that's what we have seen here. Okay, now this concept is done. Parallelism. Interesting concept is async or async, guys. It's very interesting. Async is very powerful concept, guys. So what is async? Okay, right now if you see your particular mm, um, this playbook, I have one single task. Let me create one more task. And just to better understanding, let me give the name. This called task number 1. And let me create one more task, name task number 2. So 2 tasks we have. Let me change the timing, 5 second, this one, 10 second, this one. So let's say 2 tasks we have. Okay, now what happened, guys? Whenever you run the task, and guys, obviously, when you create a playbook, hundreds of tasks you have, right? So what happened, guys? By default, nature of the Ansible is, okay, first they run this task, the first task. Okay, and till the time the task complete, Ansible is keep on monitoring this task, keep on checking this task. And sometimes there's a word we can use, poll. They keep on polling for this task, keep on checking this task. Okay, and Ansible say till the time this task, either you escape, either you fail. Okay, there's a different thing. But if you're not checking, if you're not skipping this task with some van keyword, or the task is not failing due to some failed van keyword, something like this, if task is running, so I keep on checking, I keep on polling this task until time this task won't complete, I won't go for next task number 2. So I will keep on waiting for this. So you can see in the simple term, we can say Ansible is keep on syncing with this task. Okay, but guys, there's something, sometime it is very important to know. This task number 1 is very independent task. This task number 2 is a very independent task. So task number 2 is not at all dependent on task 1. For example, maybe task 1 is uh, is doing a backup. Task 2 is maybe doing some updates, or task 2 maybe testing something. So maybe this task is an independent task, or because both the task is independent task. Okay, so waiting for the task 1 to complete, then only we go for task 2. It is unwanted waste of time, because you know what, task 2 will consume 10 minutes or 10 seconds. Okay, and this will take 5 seconds. So after 10 seconds, then they run. After they run, total 15 seconds come up. It means overall job will, or overall playbook will consume 15 seconds. Okay, why? Because Ansible is keep on waiting. Ansible is keep on syncing with all the tasks. But what can we tell to Ansible? Ansible, we can say, Ansible, this task is very independent. I don't want you just keep on polling for this task, or keep on checking for this task, or keep on syncing with this task. Okay, I want you do one thing, just trigger this task, run this task, and go ahead. Go ahead and and run the next task. Okay, and maybe this task is again independent of the other task. Again, trigger this task, You can say trigger this task on the background and go ahead. Okay, and there's no other task, just close your playbook, right? And keep this task running in the background. Okay, and when this task complete, they will complete. That's all. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so typically, you know what, it is something like this. We tell our Ansible, your duty is to trigger the task or run the task or execute the task or give the instruction. You give the instruction to your manage node. Okay, after give the instruction, don't wait for this task. Let your manage node will do for us. Why you have to wait for this? Okay, they will do and they will complete the task, and whatever you ask them, they will update. Okay, you just go and run the next task. Okay, and run the next task. So this concept is called asynchronous. You don't sync with the manage node. Your task actually finally run the manage node. Work with the asynchronous fashion with async concepts. Okay, just give them the instruction, let them they run it. You don't have to wait for this. But right now, if you see here, right, if I run the same task again, if you see, um, uh, if you see, when I run this playbook, they will syncing with the with the with your manage node, or because they're syncing with the manage node. So managers say task one started, and so say I'm waiting for you. When your task one complete, manage node update me, then I go to task two. See here, they're waiting. It means Ansible is syncing with the manage node, and only when task one complete, then only they go to task two. Otherwise, they won't go. Okay, it means syncing. But if you go to async, you know what you see, guys? Here they're taking 20 seconds here in totality because two job are running in parallel. Okay, so if you go for async, within a millisecond this will run and they go to next task. They don't have to wait. Okay, so to show you this demo very quickly one more time to make it work more clear, right? I have one more way to show you. Let's make it more clear. So let me just run this task on one single IP. Right, so we are running two tasks, task one, task two in the single IP. Okay, but here this concept is not at all related to parallelism. Okay, parallelism means if you run your playbook or per task in multiple IP in same code, it is called parallelism. So this concept is not at all linked to parallelism. So I just remove all the IP. I'm running this task on single IP. Now let me run this task for 20 seconds and less for 5 seconds. Now what happened? If I run this playbook, okay, till the time task one complete, or till the time we got the information from IP 156 and say 156 say I am your target system, whatever instruction you have given to me is successfully done. Okay, so I am Ansible control node. I'm syncing with you. So till the time it's not complete, they won't go to next task. Okay, so it is again pure wastage of your time, guys, because normally we have the huge big playbook. Okay, and most of the time my first task is not at all dependent on task two. So let's IP 150 run in their background, right? Let's me run next task. Okay, or let me run all the tasks in parallel. You can think, right? It is like a way we can run the task in parallel. And if you want to run all the tasks in parallel, then we have to use the concept called async. Okay, we have to use the concept called async. So how we can use, let me show you. And you know what you achieve in the async, when you go for async, what you will achieve in the async, you will see as soon as this task start, my Ansible will send this task to 156 and they go to task 2. They won't wait. So here they're waiting for 20 seconds. But here you will see within a millisecond, they go to task 2. That's what you can achieve in async part. So how you can make your task async? So it's so simple, guys. There's one keyword you can use called async. That's all. You can make your task async. And in async or async, SYNC obviously. Only one thing you have to do here, you have to set the timer here. Right, how async will do, async say, okay, when you run this, let me write some number here. I'll be explaining what is the meaning of this number. 1 minute. So sorry. What async will do, or async will do. Okay. Ansible behind the scene send this task to this IP, and Ansible say, go and please run this task. Right now we know it will run for 30 seconds, but maybe this might be your backup task or other job task, or maybe installing some software task. We don't know how much time will they consume. Okay, so Ansible say, I will come back to you. I am not keep on waiting for you. I'll go for next task, and let my next task also run in parallel. But after 45 seconds, I'll come to you and check, have you done? Okay. Within 45 seconds, if you haven't done, I won't come back to you. And if I don't come back to you, so I will never have the idea that you have successfully complete, you will successfully complete in the future or not. So for me, you will fail. Something like this. Okay. So this is the timer. Timer means you can give any time, but you should know, obviously, if you're if you know your maybe updation maybe take uh, 30 minutes, so just write 40 minutes or whatever minutes here. So this is a timer or maximum timer. Means Ansible after at this time they come to you and check if your task is done. That's all. They update themselves. Otherwise, according to Ansible, they say, I don't know how you will complete or not, or they will fail for you. Before this, Ansible has to keep on coming to you, right? Keep on coming to you. And for this, we have to use one more keyword here called poll. Okay, the poll is one keyword. So what poll will do, will ask my poll, just go to manage node every 1 second or every 2 seconds. Just go to IP 136, check this task complete. No. Again, go after 2 seconds. Does this task complete? No. Again, go to task complete. No. Obviously, my task will my task will complete after 20 seconds in this case. So after 20 seconds, they come to node my task complete. So my control node will update, yes, task completed. But poll will go till 40 seconds. If the task is not completed within 45 seconds, it means maybe they will come complete in the future. But according to Ansible, they set timeout or something like it out of the the time they might fail. Okay, so let me show you this demo. Will after the demo you come to know, right? So let me run the command called poll. Let's say 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, internally they go to this IP. But it doesn't mean they won't run task 1, 2, right? So let me show you this part demo. So if I run my playbook here, right now I have no connection here. So Ansible will go and run task one, and they are now they are not keep on waiting for they keep on, it's not keep on every millisecond they're checking. Last time they keep on checking every millisecond. Every millisecond, they every 2 seconds they're checking there. Right, but they will check till 40 seconds. But obviously my task will complete before 40 seconds, then this task run. But yeah, I know what we want is not achieved here. What you guys might be expecting here, that they keep on running in the background. I would like to switch to task 2, right? That's what we want. We will achieve also this part in a minute, but I would like to show you one practical one more practical here. For example, let's say this is 15 seconds. So actual my task will run 20 seconds. My poll will go every 2 seconds to check my task complete or not, and they will go till 50 seconds, 15 seconds. Obviously, guys, my task will take more than 15 seconds. So what we'll have, what we will have. And this is not the way we use async. Async we normally use another way, but I want to show you something here. So Ansible run this task or wanted to run this task in async way or async way, right? Actual task is of 20 seconds, right? But because we set async time of 15 seconds, but within the 15-second task is not complete, so Ansible fail this. Because say Ansible say, I won't come to you again after 15 seconds. So I don't know you'll pass or fail. So I have no idea. Maybe you're running behind the scene, right? If you see, guys, the connection is still established. Maybe they're running behind this in this task, or maybe they will achieve this task, they will complete this task. Okay, but according to Ansible controller node, they say for me it's fail. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you, if you think your task will run for 20 seconds, just give this time maybe 45 seconds or 50 seconds, something like this. Better more, right? Because the good thing is Paul will help you here. So this is a maximum timer you can set. This is the time your task might consume. Or Paul will is keep on checking every 2 seconds. You go here, and as soon as your task complete, Paul will tell you my task complete. So my Ansible will go to the next task. But this is not what actually we wanted. Our requirement is different, right? What I wanted, I want this task will run on the background. I don't want to wait for this task. As soon as this task run, as soon as this task run, I would like to go to this task also, and both the tasks I would like to run in parallel. How we can achieve? But before I show you this practical, this very interesting practical. Okay, I would like to show you one more thing here. So you know what, guys? Whenever you run this Ansible will establish one connection from your controller node to the managed node. Okay, and those connections they establish using some process. And if you want to see all the process of the Linux, there's a command called ps-aux. It shows you all the processes. And if you search for the process called SSH, so these are the some SSH related process running behind the scene. But you don't see any processes that is related to Ansible. See here, there's all the process related to SSH. There's no process in the last normally come up related to Ansible. But what happened, guys, as soon as I run this particular program, okay, now you can see one process this start. Okay, one process this start. Why one? Because we have connected to the one particular managed node. So one process start. And by chance this process is async, but because we write a poll here, so every 2 seconds they keep on checking. After 2 seconds they will run one more task. Okay, so how will this help you? In a minute I'll show you guys. When I go for background, it might help you there. Okay, so this process complete. Sorry, this process complete, and you'll see in a minute this will also remove. So they wait for some minute because the connection is still established. So after some second, it will remove. Okay. Now, guys, main thing is not this one, right? This is some concept will help us in a minute. The main concept is this one, right? What I want actually, I want this task maybe take 1 hour. I don't want to wait for 1 hour. Okay. I would have to switch directly to this task. Okay. For this, there's one small trick we can use, and there's a code tip or trick of async where you can make a poll to be 0. 0 is very interesting. It is 0 means 0 second, but here 0 means 0 means your Ansible is telling to this task that I don't know how much time you gonna consume to run this task. Maximum time I'm giving 55 seconds. That's a different point. But I'm not keep on coming to you. I don't want to keep on coming to you. Or typically you can say I don't want to sync with you. Now here you can see the actual power of async. It means I would like to trigger this task, execute this task. You can think I execute this task on the background. Okay, maybe you take 1 hour, I don't know. I will likely go to this task and I will run this task also in the parallel. That's what, guys, this poll has a very one important meaning here. I would like to show you this demo here. This is a very interesting demo. But before this demo, if you notice, I don't have any SSH connection in my process. Okay, and if I run this task, what you will see, as soon as task 1 started, see here task 2 also started. Okay. See here task 2 started. Even though task 1 is not complete, even though I can't show you here, but you can see it was very quick, right? One more way I can show you. All right, let me change the time to 2000 seconds. Obviously, you'll see your task 1 won't wait for 2000 seconds. Okay. I run this task, and now this time you'll see your task one won't wait for 2000 again. See, a task two started. Interesting thing is task two, because of 5 seconds, they run and complete it. But task one, even though my Ansible playbook completed, my task one is still running in the background. Because Ansible duty is to send the instruction to IP156. Instruction is run place this task. And this task is still running on IP156 in the background. But according to Ansible, it's finished. It's finished. Because there's no meaning, to wait for this task. This task is backup is you keep on doing your backup. I don't have to worry about you. My plan is to just send you the instruction. That's what we have sent. Even though if you see here, this process is going on. And this is the process, guys, that is because of task one. And if you see here, this process keep on going. Or maybe somehow I can show you in IP156 also. If I go to IP 156, maybe this IP might be 156. Let me check from here also. This is maybe IP 156. Very, very much powerful demo. Interesting 156. So if I guys show you a process command of sleep. So in this system, my Ansible send the instruction. They might show you in the process. I don't know. Let me check. They might show you. Okay. Here they're not showing you. But they are running actually behind the scene. Right now they completed. Maybe 2000 seconds is how much maybe completed. Okay, but this still guys running was running in the background. Or maybe you can use other options. Maybe let's say install some software. So they keep on running the software in the background and they move to the next task. So with a poll 0, maybe let me change the time, because if I go to this system again, okay, here guys, they they start this program here. I'm in IP 156. They run this program. Okay, and see the sleep is running, right? I mean, my system sleep is running. I'm into my managed node, but according to Ansible, they finish this task here. It's very interesting, right? So control node has completed this task, but in the managed node, this task is still running here. Sleep to them. Okay, so this might be sometime like a long scheduling task or backups and migrations, or I don't know, tons of, if you have any long running task, known as long running task only. Okay, or maybe some have ETL operation or ELT operations or depend data operations. So just go and run the task. Ansible has done their duty. The task is keep on running there. And according to a system, Ansible is free. As a control node, you're free from this job. Okay, this is what also you can achieve. But sometimes it is also very important. Even though Ansible has run this task in the async, only this task, not this task. Why? Because we have right here. Okay, only this task to be async. I don't want this task to be async. Means after this we have one more task. Task number 3. Let's say we have task. Let's say sleep 5. Let's make this task 30 seconds. So only this task will be async, because we write async here. So we can make async per task basis. But this task will run normal way. This is called sync way. So if I go to again, Ansible will go to IP156 again, and they run the first task in the background, and they forgot. They say I don't have to worry about. But remaining tasks I will do the same way that we do. For me, it is very important, because till the time task 2 won't complete, I can't run task 3. Maybe task 2 may be installing the HTTP software, and task 3 will be starting the service. And obviously, without installing the software, how can I start the services? Okay, so this kind of way you can do. So guys, again, depend upon requirement to requirement, application to application, you can achieve it, but it's very, very powerful concept. So a lot of customers may do. But one more interesting concept here is, sometime right now, maybe Ansible go to this task and they say, do your migration or do your backup. Okay, but we don't know, guys, are they successful or not. Maybe I ask them to do backup, and this is very important backup for my database. Okay, so I don't know if they have done the backup or not. Okay, so Ansible, we can also ask Ansible to track this guy. So we ask Ansible, right? And this is not important for you to close your program. The important part here is don't wait for task 1, go to task 2 and task 3. And after you're on the old task, in the final, before you close your program, check this task is complete or not. The task that you're running in the background, the task that you're running in the async way. Okay, so just go and check this, because for us it is not important to complete this playbook. Important is this task is very important, very much time consuming. It's a long running operations. Okay, I don't want to wait for task 1 to go for next task. So run this task in the parallel, go to next task again in parallel. So run this task in the background, run this task in the parallel, and but after you complete this, before you complete, just go back and check, and keep on checking till the time they complete. It's called retry. And how we can do this? So all the tasks, guys, that Ansible run on the async. Okay, so every task that Ansible run in async, they give some internal ID that's called job ID. How I know? You just go and register this thing into one variable called X. Okay, so this task I am registering into one variable called X. You know what is registry. And let me run the debug to show you the output of X. Okay, so let me change to 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, so what X will show you. So all the tasks that are running in this async, Ansible has given one internal ID that's called job ID. And this job ID, guys, is very interesting, right? If you see, guys, this, they give you one Ansible job ID. So all the job, typically known as task here, that is running with the async, they give some unique ID. And this ID we can use for tracking our job. Okay, for tracking the job. So what I do, this is the one variable we have. Okay, let me go and open. So if you want to track any job of the async, then we have one module for this. Is called async underscore status module. This module we have. Okay. In this module, what can we do? We can give, I think this have a variable called GID. We can give this particular job ID. And this job ID, from where we can get it? From X, right? This is like a variable, right? The way we use. And you know, guys, how to get the variable value. This is this is one variable. So this is, guys, keyword. This keyword is the one who will go to this particular job ID, obviously for this job, and they keep on checking the status. Okay, so what you will achieve? See, let me show you what we achieve from this. Again, task 1 is long task. Okay, but we see async is checking, nothing they're doing for us, right? And nothing, they haven't done anything for us. Why? Because we haven't asked them what we have to do. You have to do. So what I have to tell my async here. So first, let me store this guy output in one variable. Let's say y. Okay, so output of this guy I store in the y. Right? What we'll achieve in the y. In the y, guys, let me show you first output. Right? If I debug the value of y, what you will see. Debug the value of y. Or maybe give the variable name status, makes more sense, logical. Variable name, right? So what this will go, they will go and check the status of this job, and this status they store in this variable. Let me show you what we get. because this is, guys, long running task, go for 20,000 second here in our case, but they're in the background. That's good. So other tasks, they will give the time in the parallel. Parallel async will go and check, and what they find, all right, that job is still running, is not yet finished, is not failed. It means they're checking, right? They are absolutely right. And they checked for us and they say job is not failed. That's good. Even job is not finished, but it's already started. Now we can use this keyword. Okay. So we can use a condition like when. When means if we keep on running till this time, right? But when, guys, is when, right? When is only checking condition. Do you want to skip or not? But here I would like to do something like if sorry, for loop. I will have to check, keep on running this async task. Keep on running. Keep on running this async task until this finish become one. Keep on running. So it's like it is like a for loop. But here, guys, the way we are saying here, keep on running this async task until this become one. So for this, right, we have one keyword here. It is called until. Until like a loop. Okay, and we'll tell just straight as you have one keyword called finished. Show you. Okay, till the time the finished value is 1 or I said true, I keep on running. Okay, that's what I want. Now what happens, guys, if I run my job again? First task is async. They run in the background. Send the instruction. So my IP156 will run it for us, but we don't know it will fail or not. Okay, so I want my Ansible will go and check. Okay, so async is the one who check my async is right. Guys, here they keep on checking, retrying. Okay, and by default they retry 3 times. 3 times. In the 3 time, guys, they won't see the job is still complete. They will feel this. Okay. But obviously, guys, it's a long running task. We know it will take a lot of time. So we can change the retry time also here. So I want, please go and retries, retry, tries, maybe let's say 30 times. Or let me just for testing, let me change the time also here. Okay, just for testing. So, so this is a long range task. These guys retry for 30 times or 50 to 100 times. You obviously you can just go and change the value because you know about how much time normally your job can consume, right? So Ansible is checking this. So guys, these are the very powerful concepts. There's 2 things I explain you. By chance, guys, this concept I am going to explain you, right? It is again not in your curriculum, but from last couple of days, some guys have wanted me to discuss. But this is the way normally a good way to uh, create the playbook. Okay, but you have to know, you should know which job is very independent, very long time consuming job. Just put in the async, and in the last, if after job every job complete, then in the final just run this status. They keep on checking. Okay, and you can set the retry time, and and accordingly uh, they will retry. And in the 30 retry, if they find job done, they will say successful. Otherwise, fail, obviously. Okay, so this is one great example. We wanted to know more output. You know the document of the Ansible. So Ansible a sync. You guys can go and understand the asynchronous and the polling. So multiple more example you will get about GID and Fox and Paul. It's like this kind of example I show you already. You can get concurrent task. Paul Geo has a special meaning here. So multiple example you can find here, right? To achieve this, right? So you can see. So they're again still trying because my job is for 2000 seconds. So maybe let's see, but it might fail or fail to pass depending on the time. Okay. So this is one concept. So two concepts, guys, I explain you. One is parallelism, and one concept I explain you about async, right? How async will work. Okay. One more concept, let me tell you about. It's not related about this topic, but sometime very simple topic, but sometime is useful, right? So let me before this, let me tell you one more keyword here. But you know, guys know what happened by this task. Let me manually close and change this time here. If you want to see the output, and maybe 20 seconds. So so what I'm talking about here, there's one more keyword here. If you want to run your job in batches, even though you guys know, if I go for Linux OS, so they will run your job in the parallel. Parallel means two IP, they go in one single go. Okay, but maybe you have a parallel setting, would be let's say 20 parallel setting you have. So 20 system you can go in parallel. There's a by default setting, for example, you have, but you have by default 20 parallel you can go, but I would like to run my job in batches, right? So it is again sometimes helpful when you do some kind of rolling updates. For example, right now if you go for this part, when I run this particular job, you'll see, guys, this task see here, even though, guys, task is very big, but they run in parallel, right? So in all the computers that go in one single go. Okay. So they go in one single go, even though if I increase my time is 20 seconds, let me increase to 2000 seconds. So so because my parallelism is 20, or because this task is async, so, guys, in all the system, in one single slot, it go to all the 4 or 20 system, and all the tasks, guys, behind the scene running in async. There's a different point. Okay, but what I want, guys, sometime we want right, maybe have 20 in parallel fork we can run, but these 20 are my actual my production web server, and we have some new updates come up. And, guys, good practice, guys, whenever new updates come up, always go for some kind of deployment, rolling update or update strategy. And one of the strategies say, don't update in all the 20 system when one go. Just update 2 system in one go. Just pick 2 system, then update, then pick second 2 system, then update. And maybe you can set the percentage also. Updates initial 10% computer, then 20% computer, and see for the update 10% computer, see what happened, then updates next one, right? So if you have this kind of requirement, it's called batches. So then we have a keyword called serial. Okay, in the serial, we can set we can set what your flow. For example, I want first time pick 2 computers, then pick 2 computers, like this. Or maybe first time pick only 1, then next go pick 3. So it's like a batches of computers we are collecting right now, because I have only 4 system only, so I can, obviously there's no meaning to add more than 4. Or maybe I can pick just use 20% computer in the first, and then remaining 60% computer update, and then remaining obviously 20% computer updates. So this kind of also you can use in serial. So, but let me show you because I don't have so much computer here, but this kind of way we can write here. So let me use 3. So normally, guys, this concept we use a lot in the batch operation. Create a group of batches. Maybe we support parallel, but just create a batch of computers, and first create one batch, update this guy, then update 3 guys together, then furthermore we can create a batches. So if you see here, what you will find, see here, first time they pick only one, right? And now this time, so they're doing all the tasks in IF26. Okay. And because they stuck me here, just let me, so let me comment this line because it will actually, it will make us wait. Okay. So if guys, if you notice, one interesting thing is I have one single playbook, right? So my playbook is complete playbook is running in the one batch, a batch of one IPs here. All the tasks is running in IP156. IP156. Then they pick the batch of 3 IPs and they run the task in the batch of 3 IPs here. Now again, the task one start. Now it's batch of 3 IPs. It's very, very much powerful. It's very much powerful concept, right? So especially if you guys know updates or rolling updates. So we don't want updates in the one single go. First, first run your task in first, and maybe in the last we have some testing also to run the test also. And the test we write a condition. If test goes successful, then pick the next batch, next flow. Otherwise, close the program. So this kind of strategy we can achieve with serial. Very interesting concept of serial, right? So this also we can do. It's called, it will very much helpful in the strategy, especially the update strategy. Okay. So this is one more thing, and one more small last concept, guys, for today. uh, is it's not related to parallelism or this concepts, right? Very simple concept. One topic actually left. So if you guys go and check your 294 book. And guys, by the way, I have one very interesting announcement for you. From last couple of days, we are trying with the Red Hat. It is all about your exam 294. Okay, so according to guys Red Hat policy, all the professionals over here, okay, if they want to go for this particular examination, they have to go for standard fees. This is the standard exam fees they have. But any student, by chance, if their college is academy, then they are giving 50% discount exam. I told you, I think this part already. Okay, but only for those students or pursuing student who are who college is the academy or the partner of Red Hat. Okay, but I think because of this COVID situation, they might agree. Maybe they might agree. So if you are the student, pursuing student, maybe I think the age also a criteria. If your age is till 21 year of, if you're just 21-year old, and plus you are pursuing a student, even though your college is not RHA or Red Academy, so Red is agree to provide you again a coupon or discount coupon. So anybody, any student, even though they are not college is not RHA, but you don't have to guys, you don't have to invest this much amount, right? A 50% amount means this much amount you can appear for the 294 examination. This is one thing. Anybody here who also wanted to go for RSC essay examination, if you want to go, same concept apply, same for professional and same for student, either RHA or without RHA, you can appear for the examination. Again, second attempt you get. The only thing is, but right now in the COVID situation, they are offering one role access only for those who are going for this examination. So this is extra free services they are offering you, but only for this one. Okay, so if you're a student, you are giving this amount for examination. So here they won't give you role. Role means they have their own lab or some video classes. Say they won't give you. But any student who want to take this offer from the Red Hat, then only option would be you have to go for this exam, this amount. Even though a student, but you can go for this exam. You can get the exam, you can get the this benefit also. So depend, guys. So I don't suggest, just for getting the role, there's no meaning to invest much amount. Exam is important because everything, guys, whatever you find here, 10 times more content I discuss already with you. So as such, I don't invest for the role in this case. So for the student, I suggest, if you go going planning for the examination, just invest on the exam part, don't invest further. But this is the one extra announcement for you, especially for pursuing student with the age till 21 or below 21. They can avail this offer. This is not Linux World policy or Linux World offer. Okay, this is the policy or offer from Red Hat. Okay, so Linux World has no say on this. Just we got the update, so I thought to update you guys. Okay, so one more last topic, guys. So according to, guys, our program, right? As such, if you see, almost everything we have completed. If you see this particular book, right? Even though we have very small discompatibilism, but we don't have discuss of async, but we discussed, right? So almost everything we have completed. Those who are going for examination soon we will conduct the exam boot camp also, right? That's the most important. But very small one thing is there about facts. Even the facts we have discussed already, but one more small concept of facts. So let me discuss this fact about the fact. Okay, so for example, guys, you know fact, right? This is a controller node, right? And this is your managed node. Okay, so where the controller node run, they will gather all the information of this managed node and present to us. Even though we can see also, you guys know how can we see. Okay, we can manually can go and run Ansible, please go to let's say IP 156. Okay, and get all the facts and show me. So this command, you guys know, a setup command we can use and show you all the facts there. But whatever facts they show you in the key value pair, maybe MAC address or IP address or something like this is a key or value pair. Okay, but sometimes, guys, we have to create our own personal or custom facts. Okay, for example, there might be a requirement. We have thousands of computer, and in this computer, maybe we know this computer belongs to my developer team. So I can create my own custom fact here and say team equals to developer. Or maybe this computer may belong to a region called US. I can say region equal to US. Or maybe this system belongs to my production environment. I can say environment equals to prod. Okay, so again, this is what key value key. You guys know when this information you attach to this system are known as facts. So for per node, we can create their own customized facts. And how useful? In the playbook, right? We can write a condition. If the system belongs to environment equals to prod, okay, then install this version of software. If this system belong to region equals to US, so don't run this task because we have to follow some other compliance. Okay, so these kind of conditions we can apply, right? So it is something like this. By this, we are creating some custom facts, but it is something like this. We are setting some tag here, not tag, it's setting some levels here. Setting some levels. So it is again, anybody who was there with me in my Kubernetes training or in my OpenShift training. So there we normally use a term called levels. So very much useful if you have some playbook you want to run by taking the decision if this belong to team dev or not, something like this. So how we can create a custom facts, right? So if you want to create a custom fact, obviously you have to go to manage node. So I am going to manage node. So right now I'm doing manually, but for this also you can create a playbook, right? But I'm doing manually. So right now I'm in the IP address called 156. For this, what you have to do, you have to create one folder called Ansible. Here, inside this folder, you have to create a folder called facts.d, and here you have to put your information. Okay, so here I'm I'm creating one file. You can give any file name, let's say Linux World, but extension of the file should be fact, otherwise it won't work. So whatever information of this system want to give, you should be inside this folder only. File name would be anything, right? But extension of this file should be fact, otherwise it won't work. Let me share with you. And here you just give the information. For example, I'll say my team would be developer, or I can say my environment would be production, or I can say my region would be India. So multiple information you can write here. Every information is like independent facts. Okay, and every fact, guys, we normally in the in here, right? Everything belong to, for example, these are the information. The information, guys, always belong to one mean variable. So for example, this is the mean variable, and this is the key value pair. So if you can set the main variable also here, how? Just by putting in the box. For example, this is my web Linux. So this is the information about Linux web server. So this one section you have created here. So how is helpful? How it visible? Let me show you. So guys, this information I have stored in my management, even though I am doing manually, but you don't have to do manually. You can um, create Ansible playbook for this. So first time you just run from the control node, they update in all the nodes, depends where you want to update. So like a tag we have given. Now what happened, guys? If I go to my controller node, if I run my setup command again, let me run my last command, so I can show all the output. Now this time they will also fetch your custom facts. Okay, so if you go down somewhere you find, or maybe let me search for PROD and see here, come up. So custom facts is stored in a variable called Ansible local. So let me filter this guy. You guys know how to filter. So A, filter this one. So custom fact come up. And if you notice, this fact belongs to this group. Why this group? Because of a file name. So again, file name also matter here. So whatever file name you give, that will be a mean key. Inside of a file name, every information stored in this group. This group, why? Because I given the group is as my section name, and then your information. And you guys know how to use the fact, right? So I can say Ansible local dot lw dot this one dot environment. If or when it is equal to production, then apply these patches or these updates. Okay, so those kind of conditions we can apply. So you guys know how to use the facts or the variables. So there's different thing, but it is pretty straightforward if you want to create your own customer. So it's one time normally. Initially we create effects, and in the future it will help us to take the proper decision which task we have to run where, right? So guys, multiple topic we have discussed today. Even though according to the program everything we have completed, but I need one more day tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the last class. So some more guys wanted to discuss some more things. For example, two topics somebody wanted me to discuss. Again, it's very important topic. I think you should know. One is plugin and one is filter. So tomorrow, guys, we will discuss the plugin and the filter, and then we will conclude our Ansible training, right? So tomorrow would be the last day for this program. Okay. So I'll share, guys, this concept, but today's concept again was very, very much powerful. This one about parallel processing plus asynchronous, right? So any query if you have any query here. Any query if you have, you can ask me. I'm from UK. I'm eligible. Arun, if you, I don't know actually. I don't know. Preeti is the one who manages all the schedule of the examination. So if you talk about the eligibility, I suggest if you can talk to Preeti. uh, Udit, for the Earth member, right? We are ourselves are providing extra sponsorship in the exam fees. Okay, so even though your age criteria won't match, so Linux World will sponsor from their fund, right? So anybody who are from the Earth member, you don't have to worry about any of the criteria about your RHA or age. Okay, but let me also confirm with Priti also. Okay, so but I think according to me, according to the especially the age criteria, Earth learners, they don't have to worry about, right? We will manage guys everything for you. Don't worry. Yes, Gokula, tomorrow will be the last class of 294. Because there's a lot of way to do a disk replication, right? Using clustering also, but simplest way would be RAID, right? So you can just go and implement the RAID devices, RAID. So it will help you to do the replica. You know, RAID 0, RAID 1. So just go and use the RAID. It will help you. Yes, Sevam, we also do a RSCSA bootcamp also. We'll do both the bootcamp. Even the RSCSA training we are doing in IC Rise. So maybe this week we'll also announce about the examination. Roshan, if you guys, if you give the poll equals to 0, then there's no meaning of async time. Okay, so there's no meaning of async time, 45 or whatever number, right? Okay, so async time that you give it is useful when you set poll with some value, some level like poll 1 second, 2 seconds, something like this. I told you, Roshan, if you want to create a module, then uh, we have to use a programming language, especially the Python. So guys, picking some other question, right? Actually, guys, somebody asking me to allow also exam boot camp. Actually, because of the policy, exam boot camp is one of the core feature, and we have set the policy. It is only applicable for the student who is appearing for the examination, right? Even though we are doing free, but it is only applicable for the student who is pursuing. No, Ravindra, if you give the poll equals to 0, there is no meaning of async. So if you say poll 0 and retry 30, so there are two different things. Poll belongs to poll or async belong as a keyword belongs to your task. Retry keyword belongs to async status task. So async status is keep on checking your task complete or not, with the keyword called until for 30 times. Okay, but it is not linked with poll or async. I think somebody asking me how much time we have to register for exam. Sitish, no idea. Again, I ask Preeti, they will update in the group. Rajesh, if you guys, even though a student, 50% discount you have, but Reddit is now giving second attempt free. So everybody who is registered in any of the model, you will have second attempt free. No, Naveen, Serial and the Fox are two Fox are two different options, right? So they won't override. I show you guys. Fox I use 20. Serial I use some batches of IPs. But obviously, serial number should be less than Fox. Otherwise, there is no meaning of serial. Right? If you say Fox is 2 and serial base is 4, so there is no meaning of serial. So serial should be, the number of serials should be always less than Fox. That's a different point. Otherwise, there is no link to their two independent concepts. Anurag, Ansible by default have a capability of asynchronous, but by default they work on synchronous. So yeah, your question is yes, Ansible is by default work on synchronous. Okay, your legend want to touch your feet. Akshay, thank you very much, Akshay. Definitely will guys meet soon, everyone. Achilles, in the cloud training, I explained you about the provisioner remote that is related to Terraform, right? In the Ansible, they are by default working the same way. So there's no meaning of a remote execute, because Ansible, it is a by default nature of the Ansible, right? They are doing everything in the remote system only, right? So what are you asking? It is by default there in the Ansible. Till now, whatever we have done, it is remote execute only. So yeah, Sri, the dependency you're talking about, right? Uh, you just register, you just register um, uh, your task in some variable, and accordingly check, right? Check the condition and apply on the second task. Some of the example we have already discussed, right, about this. Register the task variable in one thing and then apply the condition. Komlan, I'll try to give the overview Ansible tower, but actually is a there's no SS meaning because long lots of components there, right? So let's see how can I how can I manage. Yes, Vishal, async is a keyword belongs to task. So in the role we write multiple tasks, right? So answer yes. On the role also we can apply, but role means you can't directly apply on the role. Role contain multiple tasks. So 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 in the task you can apply async. So guys, any confusion about the discount offer of pursuing for 50% discount? Any confusion if you have, you can ping to my team. They will update you guys, help you. Akash, you can install there's same thing, right? You can install one Ubuntu controller and it will work in the same go, right? So only thing is in Ansible you have to enable SSH. Otherwise, everything is same. I don't think so any kind of struggle there. Can I write the exam in Nigeria? June, if you can again connect to Preeti, she might help you. How can you give exam in Nigeria? Suri, that you can decide you want to give exam right now on the earth, that would be your decision. But if you are the part of earth, you can give in earth also. Both the ways good, right? There's no difference, right? You can give anytime. Um, Kuldeep, I suggest if you have plan for this program, there's nothing like DO425. Okay, it's the best one, right? It's cover OpenShift with container security, so it is a more value in the market, right? So, but every program has different, right? 294 is for Ansible, right? So every program has their own weightage, right? Yes, Prasanto, you can give exam afterwards also, but actually the boot camp I only cover once, right? I won't cover bootcamp multiple time, and bootcamp is the only way to, uh, if you want to success in the examination, then bootcamp is the must, right? Srisa, for this issue of Git module, one of the way you can do it before you run the Git module, run one more task. This is one of the trick you can use by chance. Before the Git module, wherever you're downloading your or cloning your code, remove that folder, and Git will automatically create this for you. This is one of some trick you can use, or maybe there might be other option available in the Git module. But write one more task. First, clear that particular folder where you are downloading or cloning the Git. Then run the second task will be Git task. Aman, actually, poll is just a way to tell we are not going and checking, but internal capability of async is come from async keyword, right? So I believe I believe writing the async keyword is, I think it's compulsory there. Even though I haven't tested, even though just try to remove async and then see poll is working or not, and maybe very quickly if we can check here. Logically, I agree. We don't have to. I don't know which folder I've created. Is 1 minute. Which folder I created? I give lots of folder. I forgot the name. Projects. My parallel. Sorry. So Alliance OS. Let me remove 1 minute. And let me share this code also with you. So what I'm trying to do here, let me forget about serial. Maybe put the serial, doesn't matter. And comment this async. Okay. So one thing we are checking here, does async is compulsory if you write a poll 0. That's what we are checking here. So I think it's compulsory, right? So async is a keyword actually who make our job run in the background. Poll is just a way of polling, right? Just keep on checking. So yes, answer is async is compulsory. Actually, MPI is a platform, right, for HPC or MPP, massively high performance platform, right? So again, they also work in the parallel, but that particular platform or interface is for different use cases. Okay, so here this is a different parallel, is a parallel task we are running. So you can think it is a parallel job scheduling or job or task scheduling platform, right? And MPI or MPP is for data, right? So if you want to do some parallel processing on the data, uh, there we use a lot. Or maybe the HPC we normally use for job also, but they're not job. Is inside the job we have multiple expression, right, that we have to calculate in parallel. So there we use HPC a lot. So maybe they are parallel, but the use case is different, right? The person what they're performing. Yes, Akhil, we will study Ansible again in Earth, but but the approach and use case would be different, right? So there we are going to integrate Ansible with multiple different technologies there. Splunk and Nova, we might, I also wanted to launch Splunk, but because of schedule, a little bit challenging, but soon maybe we might launch Splunk. Windows, Mahendra, I'll try to show some demo. Let me try. So guys, that's all. I'll try to pick again multiple questions here. Any query again related to exam, you can ask the team. Guys, somebody also asking me to discuss uh, about integration of Jenkins. Might not be possible, guys, in this. Maybe I'll try to give a high level idea tomorrow. Okay, not everybody know Jenkins here. Harish, we have already shared you the LVM. I think 2 video we have shared about LVM. Everything we discussed there. If you really know the concept of LVM, writing the playbook won't be a big deal. It's very. I think I show you also in my class the 2 LVS or PVSM module. So it's not a big deal. But you should know LVM first, right? So just go through video. Then if you go to writing the playbook, it won't be a big deal. So yes, guys, we'll soon update you about exam bootcamp, right? When we do the bootcamp. Let me first complete tomorrow this program, then we'll update you guys. Okay, guys, see you. Take care. See you tomorrow. Will be last time. Bye. Take care. Good day. Good night.